actually recording.
Wait. Which one do I choose? Is that one?
I think it's that.
You think?
I've never. Oh, it's actually recording right now.
Oh, okay.
I've never recorded anything on my phone. So I'm the last Stephanie. Leonardo da Vinci once said, "The time will come when men such as I will look upon the murder of animals as they now look on the murder of men." So, according to an article by Vegetarian Times, 3.2% or 7.2 million Americans identify themselves as vegetarian. I myself have been a vegetarian for 9 years, so I strongly identify with this culture. There are a lot of symbols and things that represent like the vegetarian world and vegetarian culture. The main one, as most of you might have seen, is this symbol right here, which is just capital V with the leaf. I'm going to be talking about this symbol, how it represents the culture, and then I'll be talking about myself as a vegetarian and how this symbol has played an impact on that identification. So, this symbol was first created by an artist, Bruno Nasibin, in 1985. Although the idea for a universal symbol was first brought about by William Pickett in 1976, according to the Vegetarian Union label. So this symbol was released for worldwide use kind of in 1985 at a conference held by the EBU. So it was thought that they thought that it was important to have this symbol to kind of represent not only the culture but the products that we consume by the culture, because there wasn't really any regulations. Any company could say, oh, this is vegetarian safe, but in reality it's not. So that's kind of the importance of why they thought this should be brought about. So since its release, 16 European countries along with USA, Canada, and Australia have adopted this symbol as kind of the universal means of identifying vegetarian safe products and food for us to consume. So, why this represents the vegetarian culture, it kind of unites us as the people, brings us together with a sense of unity and community. It lets us know that, I also believe what you believe, I'm in the same kind of area as you. And like I said, when it comes to shopping, it's kind of difficult to know what is safe for you to consume and what is not, because like I said, there's not really a lot of government regulations. So everyday supermarkets, if you go, there are products, believe it or not, that are vegan, vegetarian safe. And you'll see the symbol. If you ever gone to a restaurant, most restaurants nowadays, on their menus, they'll print this little symbol, that way you know it's safe for you to eat. And then there's also a lot of, since it's kind of becoming more and more people are in this area, there are whole markets dedicated solely to carrying pure vegan, vegetarian products, as well as like shampoos, face washes, makeup, stuff like that, that are animal safe. So now that I've talked about a little bit what the symbol is, how it created, and when it came about, I'll now move on to why I represent with this culture. So like I said, I've been a vegetarian for 9 years. I made the transition to vegetarianism my junior year in high school. So I wasn't always a vegetarian, obviously. When I was a little kid, you eat what your parents feed you, so I ate meat. When I was a junior in high school, that's when I started kind of thinking, I don't really like it. I don't like the fact that an animal has to die just for myself to have a meal, so that's why I made this switch. I have a great love for animals, so that was my main reason. One of the most common questions I'm asked whenever I tell somebody I'm a vegetarian is like, oh, why don't you eat meat? And it's always my personal belief, why should I kill an animal just so I can have a meal when there's plenty of other options out there if you just look. So when I first told my parents and my friends, I'm going to be a vegetarian, they kind of laughed like, oh, that's not going to last. My family are self-proclaimed carnivores, so there's nothing but meat in my house, which would kind of pose a struggle. What am I going to eat for dinner? They're not going to make anything for me. So it was when I kind of did some research, talked to other people who were vegetarians, is when I started noticing this symbol, noticing that there are a lot of options out there for you. There's a lot of food and stuff if you look. And then not only that, like in everyday life, like I said, if you really look for it, there's a lot of stores, and like if you go to festivals and stuff like that, you will like see the symbol for the clothing, the shoes, like face wash and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just an important part. It kind of helped me through like the first couple of months, which were the hardest. It let me know that I wasn't alone, that there was a community out there, and there were options available to me to kind of help me stay on this path that I have chosen. So, yeah, so I talked about this culture, how this symbol came to be created, kind of, and how it was adopted, and then I talked about myself and my story about being a vegetarian and how that came about. And I mean, I was surprised when I found this statistic about how many vegetarians there are actually out there in this road, and who knows, maybe one day we'll live in a society where people start asking you, why do you eat meat, instead of why don't you